Grant, first of all, the usual check on the injuries. How are you looking? Have you got any good news out of this game?
No. Still about 10 or 11 players unavailable, all different types and positions. Nothing. We haven't picked up anything from Tuesday's game, which is good. So we are from Tuesday. Is
there an update on Anderson and Hurst in particular, and any sort of progress there?
Hurst is coming along very, very nicely. I've had the report back. We should see him back in training next week. Tom is concussion, unfortunately, so we'll miss the next. We're hoping to have him back for next week, but obviously once he's symptom free, he can come back into the building. At the minute he's still a wee bit groggy, so it's them two are hopefully be back with us next week.
What's a manager's headspace like when you've spent all summer preparing and getting everything set up? You bring your players in, and then you're not even 3 games into the league season, and you get all these injuries.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them have been, you can't do anything about. Like Jamie Sterry, for example, has had an operation on his toe. It's worse than what we actually thought it was, and I've seen the images of that, which wasn't very pleasing when the physio showed me that. But he's on the road to recovery. He's had the operation done. Probably won't see him again now for the next 8 weeks. But yeah, it's these things you just can't. I've always been of the mindset you can't worry about it. You've got to focus on what you have and what can help us at this moment in time. So it's that's the way we are thinking.
When you're trying to build, though, especially when quite a lot of players have come in, does it add obstacles that you've got to try and work around, even if you are just trying to move on a little bit? Other sort of challenges.
You honestly can't worry about it. It is what it is. It's nobody's fault. It's a lot of these are historical injuries that have reoccurred. The Jamie Sterry one we can't do anything about. Tom Anderson, he's gone to head a ball and headed the back of Owen Bailey's head, which is a hard head, by the way. So it's he's not come out too well after that. That Lewis Jones has come back. Kyle Hurst will be back next week. I'm hoping Ben Close will be back next week. He's been out in the grass. So we're slowly but surely getting people back. But it's it is frustrating, but we can't dwell on it. We have to focus on what we have, and the lads can help us, go and try and win the game tomorrow.
How would you assess where you are, and what you've seen so far from your team in these league games?
Up and down, I would say, a little bit, and probably half expected that with a new group and new ideas and a lot of things. Probably we've put a lot into the players in terms of the 7 or 8 weeks that we had them. Well, we've had them obviously since they came back from pre-season. So probably half expected us to be a little bit topsy-turvy for the first month or two. I think we've seen signs of the grit and determination it takes to get points. Obviously we didn't get the 3, but we got the 1 here against Mansfield. And then we've seen the cup game against Hull where we can be very good. And then in the other 2 league games disappointing. So we're hoping to try and find a wee bit more consistency. But it takes time. It takes time, and hoping and praying that the group will improve, and I have a firm belief they will.
Is that one of the things with football now, that there's such a truncated start to when the season actually kicks off, that it's sometimes maybe missed that it can take a bit of time, because there's lots of teams in numerous divisions who perhaps didn't have the best first month of the season, but then ended up romping to a title.
It's always look. Don't get me wrong, we'd love the better start than what we've got, but ultimately it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So we know we'll be judged where we are after 46 league games, and we still have a firm belief that we can have ourselves right in the picture. So we know it'll take a little bit of time. We're focusing on things that we know we have to improve on, the basics of football and things like that, because we know we can play. We've shown it against Hull, we've shown it, although it was a pre-season friendly here, we've shown it against Sheffield Wednesday. Now we understand that we need to do both sides of the game. I spoke about it when I first came in here in this division. You've got to be good enough to play, but you've also got to be good enough to go over presses and play over presses, and maybe we've got stuck in a little bit in between at the minute. So it's important that we probably just stripped it back a little bit for the boys getting into the Mansfield game to try and build a game going forward.
What have you liked so far?
I like the group. It's a real honest group. Work hard every day. As a manager, and Cliff will tell you, and Glove and Cops, when you go under the training ground every day and you're having to motivate people to train, we don't have that. It's a group that they work hard. They want to improve. They want to get better. And that's the pleasing thing about this group. You know, there's quite a lot of young players in there who, for their own personal development, want to improve and want to get better. Had a really good chat with Joe Oliver yesterday. Just having a chat with him, because he's one I can see, you know, ceiling very, very high. Has all the attributes to be a top centre half. But areas of his game where I think I can help him with. So there's, you know, we've got a group that wants to take this information on board and do something about it, which is really good.
Is there something particularly satisfying about that? Because you designed the team, you know, it's a big focus for you, isn't it? You know, on character and stuff like that. But when you actually sort of see that, you like the group, as you're saying there. Is there sort of that? Does that bring some positivity to you?
Yeah,
that you've actually shown it now.
It does, and you know, reminds me a little bit of the whole group we had. You know, they're just an honest group of players. Like, we didn't have any superstars, but we've got an honest group who will work, will run, will fight, and I can see that coming back out of them now. And it's down to us to get us to play, down to myself and Cliff and the players to buy into the how we actually want to play, you know, moving forward. So I think we've seen bits of us in certain elements of games, but bits of us where everyone can see we need to improve.
What do you think sort of the key thing, the key message to the players ahead of this game to help you get a result in this one? Calm,
controlled. We're playing against a very possession-based team. Luke's done really well with him. You know, I was on a pro licence many years ago with him. So I know he's a good coach, and I know his team can play good football. So it's going to be a football game for sure. You know, that's something we've shown that we can play against those type of teams that can dominate the ball, and we have to get our energy right and our press right. But I think it'll be an entertaining game. Two teams going for it. You know, we'll not be coming here or at our home to be sitting back and watch them, you know, play around with the ball. That's not what I'm about. That's not what this team's about. So I think it'll be a good game.
And finally, with a bit of time to go in the window, what's your sort of position on the transfer market at the moment? Are you still sort of keeping an eye out there, especially with injury issues, or how are you feeling about it?
Like I said on Tuesday after the game, it's difficult for me to keep going to the board every time we pick up an injury. You know, we are where we are at this level of football. The budget's the budget. And to be honest with you, look, we're talking matter of days for someone coming back. Yes, some of them will take a little bit longer, maybe 6 weeks to 8 weeks, but it's the reason why we have a big squad. You know, we have got a biggish squad, and for this level, albeit with 10 of them injured at the minute, it's never ideal, but they will come back.
Cheers, Grant.
Thank you.
Just on team news, Grant, was there any news from John Taylor's appointment with a specialist on his injury?
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, really. So I think what's going to happen with John is he's going to have another second opinion start of next week, and then we'll see where we go from there. So it's very hard to give you anything on that at the minute.
No worries. Someone I want to pick on Tuesday, I thought Zane Westbrook come in and did really well. Mm-hmm. Is he all right to go again on Saturday? Because it's a quick turnaround for someone who's not played much in pre-season.
Yeah, I mean, we've built him up nicely. He's obviously had the problem in pre-season with his injury, but he's had a lot of days on the pitches with the conditioning coaches and stuff like that. So listen, the only way you can get any sort of consistency is playing football games. So we'll see. I thought Zane done well, particularly the role we asked him to do. He was involved in the first goal. Some of his set play delivery was good, so I thought it was a good performance from him.
On Zane, you obviously gave him a new contract. You got 6 central midfielders as senior players. What qualities do you think he has that sort of stand him out, or maybe just give him a little bit of difference on his teammates?
I think they're all different. I think we're fortunate. We've got 6 midfield players that are all different in many ways. Fortunately, 2 of them are injured at the minute, and Ben Close and Harrison Biggins. So it would be nice to get them 2 back, so we've got that real competition. Because I think you'll see different levels of Owen Bailey, George Broadbent, Tommy Rowe, Zane Westbrook when they have that competition. So it's important we get them back. Harrison will miss the next probably 3 or 4 weeks with a quad strain, which is frustrating for us, because I felt he was coming into good form, particularly the whole game where I thought he was excellent. So it's disappointing, but you know it is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've been clear on the ins. Sorry. Any more outs before tomorrow or in the next few days?
If we get a few back, I might let 1 or 2 else, 1 or 2 go out and play some games. But at the minute, we're stretched. I think if I'm looking towards the game tomorrow, there probably be one player left off the bench. That's how stretched we are in terms of numbers at the minute.
Yeah, Will Flint's gone out to Gainsborough. It seems like a good move for him, second-year scholar. Every time I've seen him, he looked very good, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a good move for him. He played I played the other day there, I think, on Tuesday, and I think it could be 4-0, but the man sent off early. Will, by all accounts, done really well. It's a good for him. We want to try and get the younger players out as much as we can to get experience, because I think it helps them, helps us. So it's nice to see the likes of Will, Jack Goodman, Tav, Jack DeGrucci's picked up another injury while out and along. But they're all out playing games, men's football, which is great.
Do you see Will as a centre midfielder or a centre back? Because I know he can play both positions.
Centre half, I would say. We see him more as a centre half. I mean, look, I've not seen a lot of him. I've only just come in. But I see him training, and I've seen a couple of the 18s games when we've been at home. By all accounts, they rate him very highly. So it's nice that obviously the 18s are at the training ground now, so we do see a bit of them. But I'd like to see more of them.
Yeah, on League Two so far, everyone's kind of beaten everyone already. It's not as top and down as what people might have thought. I just wondered what you've made of it so far.
Probably just what you say, really. I think. I don't think anyone gets overly excited about where you are at this stage of the season, or overly down if you're not having a decent start, if that makes sense. So we know we're improving all the time, and we know the group will improve. The more work we have and the more time we have with them. It's been very difficult at the minute in terms of the games. Obviously, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. To try and get any sort of work into them, because you're almost playing and recovering. So we're looking forward to next week. We've got a full week with them before we go into another hectic schedule for another couple of weeks.
And tomorrow, obviously, there'll be 4 games into the season. You'll obviously want that first win. How much pressure or demand are you putting on that?
None. Calm, control with the boys. I know we'll come good. I'm really a firm believer of that. So, look, I think everyone wants to win. Of course they do, but it's not like we have to win. I don't think anyone's putting any sort of pressure on the players like that. We're certainly not. We just want them to go out and show people what they're about, and have that real togetherness and that real firm belief that we can win. And sometimes when you focus too much on winning, you can take away from your performance, and it actually doesn't happen. So it's important for us that we get the principles right. We get making sure we get our beliefs right in terms of what we want to do. Then what comes after that will hopefully lead us on to a victory.
And last one then, how do you get them going after a big effort on Tuesday?
Same for everyone. It's the same for everyone. We've had a couple of days on the grass, Thursday, Friday, 2 good sessions with the group, working towards Notts County. Areas where we feel we can try and nullify them, areas where I feel we can hurt them. So it's been a good couple of days, but obviously we need to go and put it onto the pitch now.